This is Red Map. Red Map is a Republican Party program from the last few years. It's something that the party is very proud of. In this memo released a few weeks ago, the party explains that their Red Map program was the only reason Republicans did not lose everything in this past election. They're calling Red Map their firewall. They say that it is only because of Red Map that Republicans hold the House right now. And Republicans hold the House even though they admit, and they're excited to admit, even though Republicans hold the House, even though Americans voted for more Democrats in the House than Republicans. This is from a Republican Party strategy document. This is not from some liberal blog or some feverish dream I had after the last time I wore my tinfoil hat. This is the Republican Party talking about their own plans about Red Map. Look at this. Look, quote, Democratic candidates for the U.S. House won 1.1 million more votes than their Republican opponents. Quote, aggregated numbers show voters pulled the lever for Republicans only 49% of the time in congressional races, suggesting that 2012 could have been a repeat of 2008, when voters gave control of the White House and both chambers of Congress to Democrats. But, of course, Republicans did not lose control of the House, despite the way America voted. Republicans kept a 33-seat majority in the House. How did they do that when more people voted for Democrats? Oh, it was Red Map. And the Republican Party breaks down how it worked to do that state by state. They say Red Map's effect on the 2012 election is plain when analyzing the results. Pennsylvanians cast 83,000 more votes for Democratic House candidates than their Republican opponents, but elected a 13-5 Republican majority to represent them in D.C. Michiganders, they say, cast over 240,000 more votes for Democratic congressional candidates than Republicans, but still elected a 9-5 Republican delegation to Congress. In Ohio, they say Ohio allowed a 12-4 Republican majority to return to the U.S. House of Representatives, despite voters casting only 52% of their vote for Republican congressional candidates. They brag about the same phenomenon happening in Wisconsin as well. So we reported on this phenomenon and on the Republican Party bragging on it on this show on Tuesday night. The Republican Party bragging that it is all thanks to Red Map. It is only thanks to that aggressive, coordinated effort to change the maps in these states so Republicans always win congressional seats, no matter who the people in that state vote for, that the Republicans got to keep control of the House this year, even though Democrats got more votes. Well, the next piece of this, what happens after Red Map, is that the Republicans in these states where Red Map worked are now quietly trying to change the rules in those states so that these same maps that result in Republicans winning the House, even when more people vote for Democrats, these same House district, these same congressional district maps should be used to elect the president now as well. Republicans in these states want electoral votes in these states to not be statewide anymore. They want them allocated based on these maps, the Red Map maps. We reported on Tuesday on Red Map and how it relates to this scheme for changing the presidential election as well. And I finished up that segment, I'm a little embarrassed to admit, by shouting, essentially, at the camera, asking more people to look into this. I said, hey, Beltway, wake up. It's kind of embarrassing. But honestly, this is not the kind of change that should just happen quietly in the states and look like a state thing until we don't notice and it's all over. So I ended that segment by saying, hey, Beltway, wake up. And, embarrassing as that was, today I'm happy to report it is starting to get some pickup. So far, it's only in the lefty media, and it's not at all on the networks or in the major papers, but the pickup is starting. Both Think Progress and Talking Points Memo have picked up the story today. And that's right on time, thank you, because 7 Pennsylvania Republicans have just introduced legislation to enact the Red Map scheme for the presidential election in their state in time for 2016. The state's Republican governor and the Republican majority leader in the Senate have both said that they support that idea for Pennsylvania. The Beltway is supposedly fixated on elections and election process, right? Well, here's an election process story that really could use some Beltway fixation. In the meantime, if you want to look into it yourself, we have built a little toolkit of links on this story at our website at manoblog.com. Thanks for being with us tonight. Now it's time for The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell. Have a great night.